Alright, so enough for the fanciness. Now, here comes the second part of it. Because I could have always gone back through the whole process of giving you the hey, the S, the U, the P, the B, the R, the O, and then, you know, the appearance and the sup with bro and all of that. I could have done that. I could have. But I didn't. I did not. No, the second implication goes back to my failure to do the normal intro the way that I normally do it. And that is indicative of what is known as laziness. And there's a pro and a counter laziness. Because of laziness, we have escalators, we have, you know, we have buses, we have, you know, we have taxi, we have train, because we don't want to walk from where we live to over the sun. Is a waste of time and energy. It go take you longer to walk, but people used to do it. People from the old country days used to walk from the yard, go to school and all of these things, right? And I'm talking about the Jamaican context, right? Parents will tell you, when we went to school, we never have no seat and we never have no chair and we never wear shoes. So, them must did really bright, because them did pass. But okay. Back in my day, yeah, you're going to hear a lot of that conversation, right? Not necessarily from me. Even though I kind of did that, in a sense, in the previous video, regarding the remember the time, the MSN Messenger and all of that. But guess what? More to this point, you have a lot of people now using AI art, right? People who would not putting no pencil to paper. They're not painting, right? However, in a shorter amount of time, without going through the process, they're achieving, I guess you could call it the same thing. So in other words, you have compressed the time it would have taken in order to get a job done. However, you have robbed yourself of the joy of going through the actual process of literally drawing something by hand, doing something by hand. Yeah, I mean, let's say my version, let me tell you what my version of AI is. I am like, when I was going to school, unfortunately, yeah, how do I put this? Reading was always a chore for me, because it was given to me as a chore. It wasn't given to me as something that you should do because I like reading, so you should try reading. Now, reading was given to me as a chore, so unless it had something that I was interested in, I didn't like reading. Reading has to be tied to my interest, and if I'm not interested, I'm not reading. You know, don't get me wrong, yes, it's good to read novels because there's this suspense, and you know, you can see where movies get a lot of their inspiration from. That's cool. Okay, here we go. Hold on. So yes, if I was actually lazy, then what would happen is I would just let all of the vehicle them go on playing at the background, like this one passing. But see, I'm not gonna let you do the work for me. I'm not gonna do that. The only time you can do any work for me is when maybe I'll let you write my resume, I'll let you write my lesson plan, I'll let you do that. But more, I drive my car for myself. You understand? I want to drive my car for myself. I don't want to hear, hello, how are you doing? Where are you going today? Yeah, I'm driving today. Okay, Siri? Think about this. There are people that still don't like taking an elevator, because they've heard the nightmares of people being stuck on elevators. If you get stuck in an elevator, the panic and the claustrophobia, it sets in, and it is not a good time. And anything can happen. That's why people be taking the stairs. I was going to say my version of AI is an audiobook. Because me, yes, I would read, but I don't read for leisure like that. And my reading has to have a purpose. Like, my reading is almost academic. It's like, well, I have this assignment to do and I need to understand what the project is about. So I read about it and say, okay, I am going to summarize my understanding of what this thing is and present it so that it makes sense in a project format, right? That sort of thing. But to that point, people still like print. People still like print. People still like to be able to do this and to do this and to do this. Yeah, people like print. Be it the newspaper, be it exam papers, novels, whatever. People like print. And because of that, you know, you still have people that don't even want to go to an ATM. They want to go and speak to a teller. And my God, can you imagine an AI pilot? I'm going back that way. Oh no. You're not catching me on a pilotless plane. Okay? I need to greet my pilot and be like, hello sir, what's your name? Alright, thanks for, you know, I appreciate you for having our safety in your hands. Yeah. I've heard comedians make the joke that they ask, you know, oh, you have plans next week? Do you have plans? Just in case you feel like today gonna be last flight. But that's the other thing, right? Would you pay to see an AI become a stand-up comedian? Will you pay an AI to be like a rapper and performing on stage, or being like the next Chris Brown? Like, would you pay your AI to do that? Would you? No, I ask these trivial questions because I literally had this as an SBA assignment, or let me say that more accurately. Bossman teaching here, and yes, what he was actually referring to was, it was me who gave my students an assignment about the role of AI in our daily lives as an SBA for CSET mathematics. And it's something that can be reused time and time and time again. You're gonna have different results and different opinions, so everybody could do the same topic and get completely different stances. So with that in mind, yeah, we've tackled this topic in the format of a school-based assessment for mathematics, something that I did. So I'm gonna give, you know, this guy back his seat, yeah, and then, you know, he'll go back through all of that. So anyway, yeah, this is just a cameo from, you know, yeah, sorry, see, what am I doing? Yeah, so the camera from this guy, black hat and black tie, yeah, he just had to be that guy, right? Yeah, so anyhow, you know, yeah, we share this card, yeah, we use this card, yeah. So anyhow, all right, hold on. No, I'm not okay. I was just wondering, like, how would AI, right? Hold on. Let me bring it closer, right? How would AI handle road rage? I mean, I'm not so sure how AI would handle comedy, right? But how would AI handle road rage? Like, would they be like, you know, I can just imagine Siri being like, it's like, look at this Batman. No. Listen. For all intents and purposes, I would really like to see what an AI model driving your vehicle would sound like if somebody badger. Yeah. Back to the, less yeah, unprofessional side. Yeah. All right. No, but seriously, fun and joke aside. Fun and joke aside. These are the things we have to think about. I'm not even saying that just to be funny. Like, these are things that we need to look into. Do you want this in every aspect of your life, or in the areas where it matters? Like, that's the real question. Because truthfully, I asked the ridiculous question before. Would you like this to be a babysitter for your kids? Would you like this to pick up your kids from soccer practice? And I said soccer like I'm an American football. But you know the Schweppes, right? There's just so much, right? So much that needs to be considered when we're talking about this. Now imagine this, writing a movie script. And the thing about it, you have to understand too that we already live in a society where, when it comes to like the idea of the rapper, the DJ, the grime artist, there's already a stigma and already a disdain, right? It's frowned upon to have a ghost writer. This is technically a ghost writer for a lot of things. This is a shortcut. This is a cheat code, right? It's a shortcut. It's a cheat code. It's many things. It's TSA. It's fast food. It's a calculator, right? And I've also, hold on. Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure I had everything. Yeah. Imagine, well, I call Chat-GPT a calculator for the English language. That's what I said. Right? That's what I said. AI, Chat-GPT, is a calculator for the English language. And another form of laziness is me deciding to do the rest of the video like this. I mean, just in case I'm, inappropriately dressed, or maybe not dressed at all. One would never know. One would never know. Yeah, so imagine those considerations, right? Not even the other day, but of course you have people like Gotham Chess, right? He spoke a lot about, suspicions of certain players that might be cheating using AI, right? So that was a possibility that I never even considered, right? Then you have people who write novels and write books and write movies. That's also up for discussion. Yeah, and of course, on that note, there's also plagiarism to worry about. Now, while we cannot deny AI's benefits, we also have to look at the other side of the fence. If there's a plus, there's got to be a minus. If there's a pro, there's got to be a con. And the biggest con that I see for all of this is that after a while, a lot of people will not know how to live without this, how to get anything done without this. Suppose them not even remember how to write on a piece of paper, thanks to this. Do you know how to write? If you're into video game development, or you're a mangaka, you don't want AI writing your story for you. You don't want to do that, because it robs you. It's like, think of it like ghostwriting for rappers. Nobody respects a rapper with a ghostwriter. They don't respect ghostwriters in any form of hip-hop, dancehall, grime. They don't acknowledge it. It's like, oh, you might as well use Chat-GPT if you have a ghostwriter. You might as well. You might as well be a Chat-GPT rapper. And again, nothing is wrong with utilizing. But to holistically depend on it, that is where the problem comes in. You don't want to create a society of people that don't know how to do something for themselves. We have to be careful of the kind of society we want. Do we want people that don't know how to function without this? That's the real question we should be asking. Do we want people who cannot get anything done? You know, I was going to erase this, but yeah, I was saying, do we want a society that can't get anything done without a calculator, limited attention span, and without AI? Do we want a society that literally we can't do anything without a calculator, can't do anything because of our limited attention span, and we have no choice but to have AI do things for us? The real question we should be asking. Do we want people who cannot get anything done? You know, I was going to erase this, but yeah, I was saying, do we want a society that can't get anything done without a calculator, limited attention span, and without AI? Do we want a society that literally we can't do anything without a calculator, can't do anything because of our limited attention span, and we have no choice but to have AI do things for us? Imagine the AI going to the gym for me. Imagine that. Now, I want to do the calisthenics exercises myself. I don't want AI doing that for me. I can't be taught martial arts by an AI model. I can't. I refuse. I refuse to sit in a car with no driver to the side of me and it drives around. You like fast food? Use it as a, I want to treat myself today. Yeah? Treat it like a calculator. Treat it like fast food. Treat it like a cheat code. I don't feel like playing the game the right way today. Let's use a cheat code today. Let's have some fun. So, you know what? Alright, this is for when you can't be bothered with actually doing the calculation yourself. This is for when you can't be bothered with actually playing the game properly the way that you normally should. Or you're just not in the mood to just play the game right, so why not? And this is for when you're not in the mood to cook for yourself. AI should not replace you. It should only be there to help. The calculator. So yes, that video will be on, Bossman teaching, right? So in summary, it should be a supplement, not a replacement, right? It should assist humanity, not replace humanity. I mean, come on. There's not much else to say, really. There's not much else, I might have beaten a dead horse at this point, who knows? But yeah, that's it. The main idea is that you want to be able to do things for yourself. You want to be able to read, write, whether writing on a board, writing on paper, writing a song, writing a poem. You want to be able to do that for yourself. Looking through the dictionary, do that for yourself. Yeah. So that's it. So I can point you to those videos, So that's the YouTube version. And this is the TikTok version of it. Same video, but different page. Now that we're almost at the end, right? Not sure if you could read that, but there is something I want to talk about regarding this. Yeah, the idea of, forget even being a social media manager. That part is probably, as stressful as that is, there's some degree of joy that comes with that. But you see the other part, the content creator part, now that is where you take the bitter with the sweet, right? Because look, see, you have to make adjustments, you have to remember where you were, you have to have consistency and continuity. You have to remember to hold up the board like this, just in case you want people to, you know, get a better look. Otherwise, you see, because look at all this. But just by doing that, the perspective shifts. So sometimes you might be frustrated, but you know, sometimes the frustration is absolutely necessary. Sometimes the sin, sometimes the fin. Sometimes you have to remember to remove this. Sometimes it's here, so you have to move it. You understand? So there's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. You know, sometimes, look at that. Look at that. Imagine if everything had to be perfect. Yeah. So again, sometimes the sin, sometimes the fin. Sometimes struggle is necessary. Sometimes the frustration is necessary. Yeah.